Okay, class, we're about to start the second part of lesson 2. It says working with line graphs. A line graph is useful for showing changes over time. By analyzing the rise and fall of the line, you can tell whether something is increasing, decreasing, or staying the same. Like a bar graph, a line graph has two axis lines. One is marked with a scale, the other is marked in regular time intervals. Okay, the graph below shows the number of patients who visited an emergency room for the treatment of scooter-related injuries. Okay, so you see here, you have a number of ER visits and you have the months. In which month did the greatest increase in scooter-related injuries occur? The points on the graph are positioned above the months, which are arranged in calendar order. By examining the line that connects the points, you can tell whether there was an increase or decrease from one month to the next. A steeper line shows a greater increase. Therefore, the greatest increase was from July to August. You notice here, July to August. That was the greatest increase. Okay, now, it says if a line graph has more than one line, a key would tell you what the lines represent. Example 4, the graph below shows the changes in ticket prices for two amusement parks. So you have Park A, which is the solid line, and Park B, which is the dotted line. It says, what was the last year in which the admission price to Park B was greater than the admission price to Park A? The last year would have been actually 2007. 2007 was the last year. So the admission prices for Park A are represented by a solid line. Park B's prices are shown with the dotted line. The graph below begins in 2005. In 2005, Park B's ticket price is greater than Park A's. Follow the two lines to the right. Between 2007 and 2008, the lines cross, and Park A's price climbed higher than Park B's. The year 2007 was the last year that Park B charged more than Park A for a ticket. Note, the steepest line shows the greatest increase or decrease, but it may not show the greatest percent of change. When the original value is small, a small change may result in a high percent of change. Now, practice 2.2. For questions 1 through 3, use the graph from Westside Hospital on page 284. For questions 4 through 6, use the graph comparison of admission prices on page 284. So in which month did the number of scooter-related injuries decrease? So we go back up here. So which month did it decrease? If you notice, it decreased from September to October. So we could just say that it decreased in October. So number 1 would just be October. Okay, number 2, it says to the nearest 10, how many emergency room visits were due to scooter injuries in August, September, and October combined? August, September, and October combined. So August, we want to go to the nearest 10. August is 80. September, so we're going to try what they said here. We'll make that 100. And then October, we'll make that 90. So if we add all of these up, it'll give us 270. All right. So now we go down here to problem number 3. Problem number 3, and hold on, I got to do this with the calculator so it doesn't disappear from me. So, okay. Problem number 3. It says, which of the following shows the greater percent of increase? The change in injuries from June to July or the change from August to September? So we want to do the percent of increase for June to July. So June to July, if you look here, July is approximately 30, which would be the new. and then June is the old, so we will look at that about 18, all over 18. So 30 minus 18 is 12 over 18. And then now we're going to do the percent of increase for August to September. So all September would be about, what's that, about 110. And then August would be about 80. So 80 would be our denominator. So we would have 30 over 80. Now we will put both of these into our calculator to get their percentages. So we'll hit N over D. It'll be 12, down arrow, 18. Then second, we have to hit the right arrow. Then second, then the right parenthesis and press enter. So this will be approximately, let's just round to the nearest percent, approximately 67%. So then the next, we'll have 30 over 80. Right arrow key, second, right parenthesis, press enter. So that'll be about 37.5%. So we see here that the highest rate of increase would be from June to July. So we'll put June to July. And that would take care of problem number 3. Okay, now number 4, it says about how much more did it cost to buy a ticket to Park A than a ticket to Park B in 2009. So we go back up here. We look at 2009. Park A's ticket was about $38. Park B's ticket was, okay, now Park B, if we look here at 2009 for Park B, that's approximately 28 as well. So we have 38 minus 28, which is about $10 more. So it's about $10 more for this problem here. So we move on to problem number 5. Problem number 5, it says, what was the percent of increase in the ticket price at Park B from 2005 to 2010? So 2005 is the old value. And I believe it said Park B. Yes, Park B. So 2005, if we look at Park B, is about, it looks about $25. So we're trying to do the percent of increase. So $25 is the old. Now the new, that was 2005, and we wanted to go to 2010 for Park B. 2010, it was about $30, so that would be the new price. 30 minus 25 is 5 over 25. Now we put this in our calculator. So we would clear this out. We'll press N over D. So we'll have 5 over 25. So it's 5 over 25. Right arrow, second, right parenthesis, press enter. So that's a 20%. The percent of increase is approximately 20%. Now, of course, because you're reading these charts, yours may be off a little bit. It may be a little higher or a little lower than 20%. But unless it's a multiple choice question, I'm not really going to take off for that as long as it's within a reasonable amount of what the original answer is. Now it says here, to the nearest 10, how much more did it cost to buy a ticket to Park A in 2010 than in 2005? So we go here to 2010 with Park A. Park A looks to be close to 50, so we'll do 50. And then Park Park A in 2010. Now we go to Park A in 2005. Park A, we'll say that's roughly about $20. So 50 minus 20, it'll be about $30. Yeah, about a $30 increase, which is quite a bit. Okay, now choose the one best answer to each question. Question 7 and 8 refer to the graph below. Okay, so it says here, over what period of time did the price of goods actually decrease? Now, if you look at this period of time, the goods decreased from 1920 to 1940, because you notice it's going down. So 1920 to 1940, it doesn't show that here. It does show 1930 to 1940, so we can use that. So that would be our best answer. So 1930 to 1940, which would be A. Okay, now number 8. Goods purchased in 1970 were about what fraction of their cost in the year 2000? So we look at 1970. 1970, it was about $21. So it'd be $21 in 1970. But then we wanted to go to 2000. 2000, those same goods was $100. So it'd be about 21 over 100. So what we could do is this here, 21 over 100. You notice 21 and 100 has nothing in common. So what we could do is this here, since these fractions were simplified out, we could make this 20 over 100. And if we make this 20 over 100, if we take our calculator, put N over D, we'll put 20, down arrow over 100, right arrow, and then we want this to be a simplified fraction, so we'll press second, x10 to the n, and press enter, so it's 1/5. So our answer here would be D. So now, we go to problem number 9. It says in questions 9 and 10, refer to the graph below. Lamp Depot has 2 stores. The graph shows the sales data from the 2 stores from an 8-week period. Store 1 is the solid line. Store 2 is the dotted line. About how many more sales were there at store 2 than at store 1 in week 6? So we go to week 6, and we see here store 1 had 340. And then store 2 had about, it's between 380 and 400, so that's about 390. 390. So we had 390 minus 340, which is 50. Now, it did not tell us that it was in thousands, millions, or whatever, so it'd just be 50, which is B. Now for number 10, it says, during which week did store 1 experience the greatest increase in sales from the week before? So the greatest week, if we look here, we want to see for store 1, it's the solid line, and we want to see the greatest jump in sales. So if you look here, the greatest jump in sales looks to be from week 4 to week 5. Because week 4 it was 280, week 5 it was 320. That's a $40 increase. All the rest of these only went up about $20 or $30. So it'll be week 5, which would be D. And that is basically it.